Welcome! This is The Reality of Real Estate with Jennifer Hammond, and I am your host, Jennifer Hammond! And we are new and live at our new time at 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings East. Today's topic is about busting mortgage myths. So, what kind of myths are out there about mortgages these days? There are a lot of them. In the very first part of the show, I always try to do some of the articles that have come out this week because some of them I might agree with, but a lot of them are just saying the worst things and they make people afraid. They incite fear into people, and then they're afraid even to ask the question, so could I afford to buy a house? Do I have to have 20% down? And even DC has some great programs, the HPAP program, DC opens doors, and everyone, Virginia, Maryland, everybody has programs, also local programs, as well as, bank by bank programs that are for first-time home buyers. And I think that's something that people, they just don't understand because they've seen the news on the television or they've read the newspapers, which again are just going with, the old saying that reporters used to say all the time, if it bleeds, it leads. If it's the car crash or if it's, oh my gosh, everybody's losing their homes, this is what we want to talk about. And unfortunately, there is so much of that is just outright lies, and yet, or it's only part of the story. They've taken like a little part of the story and then they've made it the huge headline, when that's not the full story. And people need to know that they can get into a home. They can. Number one myth I think out there is that you absolutely have to have 20% down to get a mortgage these days. Is that true? It's so often overlooked that from bank to bank, and from loan program to loan program, it's a little bit different on how they're going to look at your income and your assets. I think that's really, really important to understand. It depends is a great phrase. When somebody asks, like even earlier with my caller, one of the questions that we often wonder about is, they ask about, what about this thing? Well, it depends on your income and your assets, and how are we documenting your income and your assets. And so many of us, work in those, either some kind of thing like a waitress or a bartender or truck drivers. I mean, there's so many different things where are you writing off your expenses, and you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business, you have a hair salon, you have whatever it is. And that is different depending on your specific situation on how you're going to actually qualify for a loan. Let's also talk about some of the other myth busters about mortgages right now. So number one, stated income programs. Number one, what are they, and are they still available? When we're talking about are there still stated income programs out there, one of the basic things that's really important that people can understand as they're going forward with trying to purchase a home, a second home, first-time home buyers, anything, is really understanding what are the possibilities out there and how does the system work. If you want to win at the game of real estate, you need to know the rules. I think it's an interesting balance. It's, to, again, as I say, put together your whole A-team. Make sure you have your mortgage person on there, your real estate person, your tax person, the real estate attorney. Putting all those pieces together is how you win the game of real estate.
I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets my message in